Oh, see. The afternoon is here, y'all. Crack open that Raz energy drink. REPPenergy.com. I prefer sour warm flavor myself. But today, I'm going to break down the Denver Broncos. Welcome my main man here from Infinity Sports, Wayne. Welcome. But as always, we got to ask you guys some simple questions. And here's one of them.
Are you ready for it?
And welcome to Just for Clicks, guys. This is Michael Buckhosh, a live, raw, and uncut sports talk coming at you on the noon edition of RTFSportsNetwork.com. That is noon edition East Coast time. If you guys are going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, check us out on iTunes or Spotify. Subscribe to that station. Follow us. Leave a ranking as well. It would be much appreciated if you guys would leave us some rankings. If you're listening to us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, go ahead and give us a hashtag live here in the comments section. But as always, we have guests, we have people on, and we are going to welcome a special guest on the show of the month, Infinity Sports, Wayne. Wayne, my man, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, hey, you guys were the show of the month for the month of June. It is June 9th now. We've kind of been keeping it under wraps here at RTF, but it is time to get the cat out of the bag. You guys are the show of the month. The fans have voted. They voted at RTFSportsNetwork.com. Clicked on the vote and they voted for Infinity Sports over 1,000 times. I believe the total voting was. So first things first, man. Tell the people about your show. What are you all about over there at Infinity Sports?
Well, we've got three hosts. It's me, it's my co-host Dan, and my co-host Jesse B. And the three of us basically talk general sports, whatever the top stories of the day are, top stories of the week are. We're basically going through, Twitter. We're going through Facebook. We're going through ESPN, Sports Center, ESPN.com. We're going through Reddit. We're finding out what is everybody talking about. What are the top stories? And that's what we talk about. We kind of bring it. We say, Dan is our football expert. He's the draft guy. We did a great draft show this year. And I'm more of a basketball guy. Jesse's a general knowledge guy. And we basically cover every single sport that there is known to man, except for maybe spike ball or, cornhole, stuff like that.
Whoa. Do not dish spike ball or cornhole. Cornhole is going to run the world in 3 years. Mark my words. I got my cornhole board right over there with my Kansas City Chiefs bags. Cornhole is a shit, man. Deal with it.
I love cornhole, but the whole spike ball, man, I don't get it. I don't understand the rules. I don't understand what's out of bounds. I don't understand trying to get it on the trampoline. I don't know who made it up.
Yeah, it seems like it was played in the childhood, like the school in the schoolyard type thing. I remember when I was in high school, we invented a game called tramp ball. You jump on the trampoline, you raise the goal up to 12 foot, and it was no hold bar slam dunk contest 2-on-2. And then like a year later or 2 years later, tramp ball was on TV. We're like, hey, what the hell? Like, this was our game, man. Like, get that out here. Give us some money. So first things first, where can people find your show at and what times and et cetera?
We are on the RTF Sports Network. We do currently air Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. I know that's kind of being moved around. I'm not sure what the new time slot's going to be, but you can download the show, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, pretty much anywhere that you find, podcasts, whatever you use for a podcast engine, that's where you can find us. Just type in either FBAS Sports. It shouldn't be under that anymore. It should be under Infinity Sports, but Infinity Sports or FBAS are the two titles you can find us under.
Yeah, and they also have a Facebook group, guys. If you are interested in joining that Infinity Sports Facebook group, Wayne shares his blogs on there. If you guys have not checked out the blogs, you definitely should be checking out the blogs. But look who's decided to join us, Mike LeBlanc. Mike, welcome, man. Welcome.
Welcome to the show, Mike.
What up? Sorry, man. Sorry. Took me a little bit to get home.
Well, it's I know it takes you a while to look that ugly, but we'll go ahead and move past that point. So
don't hate, Mike. Don't hate.
So this is Wayne from Infinity Sports, guys. You guys can check him out on the RTFSportsNetwork.com page as well, just along with us. But Wayne is a huge Patriots fan, Mike. And I believe I posted earlier today, or no, Wayne actually posted earlier today, and we kind of had a banter back and forth. He thinks the Patriots are going to go 11-5 this season. Before we totally rake you over the coals, Wayne, explain yourself. Why do you think the Patriots are going to go 11-5?
Well, this is a team that went 12-4 last year. They didn't really lose a ton. I mean, they lost Kyle Van Noy and they lost some other pieces, but their secondary still might be the best secondary in the AFC.
Stop. They didn't lose much. They lost Tom Brady. You said the greatest quarterback of all time during the pre-show.
Sure. Aside from the major quarterback spot, but
they didn't lose much. Just the greatest quarterback ever, right?
The defense didn't lose much, is what I'm saying. The defense didn't lose a ton. They still have the best secondary in the AFC, and they added to their pass rush with Josh Uche, who actually had a better pass rush than Chase Young this year in college football. He just didn't have as many opportunities. So this is a team that's going to be much improved on defense. And as far as quarterback, Tom Brady was on the decline. I mentioned earlier he's a noodle-armed quarterback. He can't throw it over 30 yards. Jarrett Stidham is better physically in every single aspect of the game. He just doesn't have the experience or the mental part of it. So that's going to come quick. I thought he needed one more year as a backup before they put him as a starter, but they're going to throw him into the fire now, and I still think 11-5 is very realistic.
So, Mike, I'll give you a chance. Let him hear you.
First of all, that's not going to happen. Stidham is not going to be your answer at quarterback. Number one. Number two, we're not having the regular offseason that we normally have, right? Where you get a new quarterback in for a new system and goes in and learns everything. So he's not going to have his timing down with the receivers. By the way, who are your receivers again? Just Edelman, right?
N'Keal Harry. First round pick last year.
Who?
Wasn't he the first receiver chosen last year in the draft?
I don't. What's his name?
N'Keal Harry.
Who?
So you're not going to have the offseason that we normally have where he can get antiquated with the system and Bill Belichick and everything like that. He's not going to be able to get his timing down. The stage is going to be too much for him going into the season, and I don't think Stidham gets it going till, late middle of the season to the very end of the season. I see the Patriots going 7-9, 8-8 at best.
Yeah, and Mike, I am right there with you on this one. Everything clicks for Stidham. At some point in the season, I'm thinking like week 10. You can always see those quarterbacks when things just start to just click. The game starts to slow down. He starts to see, I know who was the receiver that you guys drafted?
N'Keal Harry.
Yeah, him. Who? Exactly. You are going to know that, hey, when he gives a little shoulder to the right, he is going to go deep. It is going to take them 9-10 weeks to really get that chemistry down and to really click. So I respect you, like your team with the defense and the coaching staff, but unfortunately, losing Tom Brady is going to be a lot bigger than what people think, I think, in the end. Yes, he has a noodle arm. Yes, he's 47 years old, 50 years old, even though he has like 3 gray hairs. What is up with that? That is crazy. But we'll move past that. Stidham is the answer, just not this year.
But he is the future of the franchise. I mean, this is a guy, as I mentioned, he was rated ahead of Sam Darnold. He was rated ahead of Josh Rosen coming out of high school. He went to the system. He was one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the country. He ended up transferring to the SEC. Horrible move. He should have gone to the Big Ten or the Pac-10 if he wanted to have a better career. In fact, one of the scouts in the Pac-10 said had he transferred to Arizona or Arizona State or one of those schools, he would have been a first-round draft pick. Instead, the Patriots get an absolute steal in the 4th round. He basically reminds me style of play-wise, if people have watched him play, and most of the people against him have never seen him really play. If you watch him play, he's very similar in style to Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not saying he is Aaron Rodgers, so let's not jump there. But I'm just saying very in style of play as that mobile quarterback and get out of the pocket and run a 4.7 as opposed to Tom Brady's 5.8, and get some yards.
I think because Stidham didn't play at a major college, right?
Auburn.
I mean,
he didn't play at a major college, yeah.
Okay. Well, they beat Alabama, so.
Hell yeah, they did. War Eagle. I think the game is too fast for him coming into the league. I think it's going to take him a year. And it's not because I don't like the Patriots or anything like that, Wayne. It really isn't. I just think COVID really screwed everybody coming into the league this year. Even I've gone on record and say I think it's going to screw Tom Brady in the Bucs too, because they're going to a new system. Everybody that's switched teams, especially in the quarterback position, or that's taking over, like it's this offseason is really going to hurt them. They're not going to be able. They're going to have to learn as they go during the regular season, which sucks, but it is what it is. I don't think Stidham is the answer this year. Next year, maybe. I think I'm waiting till next year to kind of see where he goes. But next year he comes in, he loses 3, 4, 5 games. I think at that point he gets pulled and they start looking for another quarterback.
All right, guys. So we are interviewing Wayne from Infinity Sports. You guys can check them out on the RTFSportsNetwork.com page as well. We have some comments rolling in here. Mike agrees. We know Auburn is a major college. It was poking fun because the SEC is just as Alabama and LSU at the end of the day, right? Yes, we get Auburn as a D1 college. So you can go ahead and move past that point. We are very college knowledgeable around here, unfortunately. Go Cats. Which Cats? Who knows? Just go Cats. So, Wayne, you guys on your show cover a lot of sports. I was listening to an episode earlier today, and you guys were talking about hockey and basketball and whatnot. What are you more excited about bringing back this season? Is it NBA or is it hockey?
It's definitely NBA for me. And I know that there's some hockey fans out there. I don't really know a whole lot about hockey. I've never watched a single hockey game on TV. I'm not going to lie. It's not my area of expertise. I love watching it live. It's one of the best sports ever to watch live. But just watching it on TV, it's just too boring for me. I'm definitely more of a basketball guy. So I'm definitely looking forward to the basketball shortened season / playoffs.
Mike, same question to you, man.
What if I'm looking forward to basketball or hockey?
Yeah.
Neither. I really don't give a shit about either one.
and like, to be honest, the only reason why I think the NBA is coming back is because of money. Me and Mike have talked about this over and over and over. Wayne, do you think they're kind of in that same boat? Do you think they're only coming back to pad the pocketbook of the owners and, say, hey, this season was an incomplete wash?
I think that all the sports are trying to come back to make money, obviously. I mean, the TV money is what is really they're missing the most, and you can't get TV money if there are no games on television.
Right.
So I think that they're trying to get as many games out there as possible. That's why you're seeing the Major League Baseball trying to talk about 108 games, 82 games. They're trying to get in as many as possible. Baseball is in the worst boat than anybody because they don't have a salary cap. When you have a salary cap, you have revenue sharing, so the teams are in a much better shape in leagues that have a salary cap than baseball is.
Yeah, so let's say, for example, the LeBron James does win this NBA championship in a March Madness type of style play-in type of tournament. Me and Mike have talked about this before, but does this tarnish his legacy or does it enhance his legacy?
It enhances the legacy because of the fact that it's another championship. And I don't put asterisks next to the championship. If you do, you got to take one away from Tim Duncan. And I'm not about to do that because he played in a shortened season too. So I think that you have to look at it as LeBron James gets another championship. I don't think it makes him the greatest, so I'm not going to go there, but it definitely adds to his legacy getting another championship ring, regardless of how it was won.
So in your ideal world here, what is a ideal NBA Finals for you in this 2020 season?
So I don't know if they're going to do it with the split conferences or if they're going to do it top 16 teams with no conferences. I wasn't sure if they had narrowed that down. If they do top 16, no conferences, I'd love to see LA versus LA. I think the whole league would love to see that because having a giant market final like that would be fantastic. If they do split conferences, I think it's going to be most likely the Milwaukee Bucks and the Los Angeles Lakers, but I think the Lakers are winning it no matter who you put in there. I think the really intriguing story for the NBA, as much as I love the playoffs, is going to be the NBA lottery where you have the Golden State Warriors who next year are coming back with a healthy Draymond Green, a healthy Klay Thompson, a healthy Steph Curry, a healthy Andrew Wiggins, and potentially the number 1 overall pick. So
before we let you go here, this season coming back, what team does this hurt the most? Does this hurt the Golden State Warriors the most because they aren't going to play any games moving forward? Does it hurt a team like the Atlanta Hawks that are young, core there? They don't get to play any more games for the rest of the year. Or does it hurt LeBron James when he has to play, 20 games in 16 days or something to that effect, or 16 games in 20 days? Like, who does this hurt the worst?
Yeah, I mean, hurt is a tough word because I think it benefits everybody. And I think LeBron James is going to definitely benefit from this past break he's been having, the 2 months off, and come back fully healthy. I think that if I had to pick a team that quote unquote hurts the worst, it's going to be the Memphis Grizzlies, because this is a team that right now is in the 8th seed and was going to make the playoffs. But with this whole play-in system and bringing in somebody like the New Orleans Pelicans with Zion Williamson and JJ Redick and Brandon Ingram and Alonzo Ball, that's a team that could oust them from the 8th spot. And that's a team that was going to make the playoffs if we didn't have this play-in.
I think it hurts LeBron, even if he wins. There's going to be an asterisk by this because it's not a full season. And yes, I get the Tim Duncan thing. But when it comes to like talking about LeBron and his legacy and everything like that, he's basically, they're going into a March Madness style. You know what I mean? So I think it hurts the legacy.
Okay, Wayne, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I guess, depending on how you look at it, I mean, people who dislike LeBron or who don't love his legacy to begin with will find ways to punch holes in it, whether it's, he created these super teams, which he didn't. There's a blog on RTF Sports Network about how LeBron James did not create super teams, or, LeBron James can't complete a game without Kyrie Irving, or LeBron James needs Dwayne Wade, or somebody's always going to find some way to poke a hole in his legacy. And the reality is, I think he's a top 5 player of all time. If he wins the championship, he's still a top 5 player of all time. And if he loses the championship and gets swept out of the finals, he's still a top 5 player of all time. So
I agree with you. Top 5 player of all time, but like, what do you think about them comparing, LeBron James to Michael Jordan?
I understand the comparison. I don't think he is. I think that they're two different types of players. Michael Jordan definitely compares more to Kobe Bryant in the sense that they're that assassin, that killer kind of guy. And LeBron James is more of a distributor than a scorer. And I think people have held that against him. He can score 50. He has scored 60. So he can score, but I think he would much rather be a guy who gets 22 points and 10 assists, whereas Kobe and Jordan were guys who they wanted to get 50 points and 3 assists if they had a choice.
So, all right. So next question, who's better, Kobe or Jordan?
Jordan's better than Kobe. LeBron's better than Kobe as well, but LeBron's not better than Jordan.
So number 1 in your book is Jordan.
Is Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Again, there's another great blog on rtfsportsnetwork.com about Wilt Chamberlain being the best player of all time. You look at some of the statistics and the way he dominated. Michael Jordan is second place all time in 50-point games. He has something like 80. Wilt Chamberlain has like 200 plus. You look at the fact that he averaged 50 points a game, that he never fouled out of a single game in 13 years, that he averaged over 20 rebounds a game for his career in over 40 minutes. But the most amazing stat to me is you look at 30-30 games. That's 30 points, 30 rebounds.
Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's switch to college football because I'm a huge college football fan.
All right.
Even though his team is trash.
Welcome. You're just mad because Texas is better than Kansas in the Big 12. Hook 'em. Okay, so with Alabama losing Tua,
yep.
Who do they put in? Who do you see the dark horse being at quarterback for Nick Saban?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a huge college football guy. I kind of get into the season about halfway there. I kind of pick it up and start following. So I couldn't tell you who's in the running for it at all. I really don't know.
I hope Auburn whoops the shit out of Alabama this season.
I hope Alabama goes, 0-10, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen because Nick Saban. So here's why I hate Alabama, because Nick Saban was supposed to come to Texas and be Texas's coach after I forget his name, Charlie Strong. But
it was
that didn't
never going to happen. Come on, you know better than that.
It was going to happen. They were shopping for houses here. And then Alabama offered him that fat ass check and he stayed. But my money this year, national champions, my money's on probably either Georgia or Auburn.
I'm taking my fellow New Hampshireite and Ryan Day in Ohio State and my Heisman favorite, Justin Fields.
I forget about Ohio State. Yeah, Ohio State.
As you should, because Ohio State is complete trash. They're only overrated. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They are not as bad as Lamar Jackson. But we're going to move past that point. So Wayne, before we let you go here, Mike brought up college football here. Let's go ahead and kind of stick in the college football ranks here, and I want you to rank the top 5 power conferences being the Big 12, the Pac-12, the SEC. You get it, like the Power 5 conferences.
Well, I mean, definitely, I think tiers is easier because it's such a big drop off. I think you have the SEC and I think you have the Big Ten, and then after that, I think it's just a huge drop off from there. I don't think that the Big 12 or the Pac-10 or the the ACC.
What?
No, I just don't think they compete with those two conferences.
The Big 12 is the best.
Do you know that Texas beat Utah last season in I think it was the Alamo Bowl, who was before they lost in the conference championship, was ranked number like 2 or 3 in the country. The year before that, Texas beat Georgia, who was ranked like 2nd before they lost to Alabama in the conference championship. And then, yeah, I can't think of anybody else in the Big 12. Okay, I get what you're saying.
So Texas does a really good job of beating people who were good the year before they played them.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
So the only reason why Utah and last year Utah was out of it because they lost in the conference championship to it wasn't I can't remember. But anyway, Texas whooped their ass. And then Georgia of the SEC, they lost to Alabama in the conference championship, and they went on and played Texas in whatever bowl it was, and Texas beat them. So how do you explain that?
I did a great job by Texas. They weren't in the playoff, though, and they weren't in the playoff the year before that. So I don't know. It's tough for me to say that they're a good college team. I mean, they're in Texas. The state of Texas is football, but for me, I don't know. It's their conference is not even in the same boat as the Big Ten or the SEC.
Well, let me give you guys the correct answer here, okay? The correct answer is number 1 is the Big Ten with like Michigan, Northwestern, Ohio State. From top to bottom, they could probably beat any other conference. Number 2 is going to be the Big 12. I think they're better than the SEC because, yes, Alabama can beat the best in the Big 12, but from top to bottom, the Big 12 is going to win more games versus the SEC. Then you have the SEC, and then you have the Pac-12, and then you have the last conference.
I think Florida, who's garbage in the SEC, would be the conference championship in Big 12.
No, they would not.
No.
They
would
could
have a
not
hard
hang
time
with Oklahoma. They could not hang with Texas. They couldn't even hang with Kansas State.
I mean, look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's in the conversation every year.
Yeah, I like Oklahoma. I mean, I like Kyler Murray. I don't know who their quarterback was last year, but again,
they had 3 Heisman finals in a row. They had Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and then the guy previous Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Forgot about him. Alabama guy, SEC, right? So he goes from the SEC as a backup, can't hack it as a starter, and he's a superstar in the Big 12.
No,
the only reason why he wasn't a starter was because he got hurt.
Jalen Hurts got demoted is because Tua played outstanding in the national championship
for one quarter. For
one quarter, and then Tua started after that, and then Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma and balled out. I think Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Tua.
I don't know. I'm just thinking you take a 5-star prospect like Jarrett Stidham and you take him from the Big 12 and put him in the SEC. He doesn't do very good. You take a guy like Jalen Hurts out of the SEC, put him in the Big 12, and he's a Heisman winner.
I do give you that. The Big 12, I think, is a more college-oriented division, like league, and the SEC is you get to the NFL and do good things there. Because I think like there's some crazy stat like 60% of the players come from the SEC that are in the NFL or is something just like that. So I mean, SEC is definitely NFL ready caliber type of players there. So I gave you that one.
Well, I mean the SEC. If you look at all the teams in the SEC, they all of them pretty much run a spread pro style offense, right? And like Texas runs a power offense. It's more of a college style. So does Baylor.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma is really the only team in the Big 12 who really runs a spread pro style offense. And I think that's why for the past 3 years for the past 3 quarterbacks, not 3 years, but the past 3 quarterbacks they've put them into the NFL. Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield,
and they all going to be bust.
Oh, I was Kyler Murray could be an MVP candidate this year.
Yeah, he could, but he's not.
He may not be, but he's my dark horse MVP.
I mean, he's got Hopkins to throw to, so
he also has Larry Fitzgerald
and Mr. Hands.
But if you're 5'8" and can't see over 6'3" lineman,
how'd Russell Wilson's career go?
He's 6 foot tall. He's 6 foot tall. He's not 5.
6 feet and lifts.
Now that he's got Russell Wilson up, Give me the best quarterback in the league right now. Best quarterback.
Oh, best quarterback in the league. Patrick Mahomes.
Easily.
I did like you, Wayne.
Mike is a huge Russell Wilson fan for whatever reason. I saw Dylan Moran. He was in the chat earlier. He's a huge Russell Wilson fan because he's a Seattle Seahawks fan. So let's take Patrick.
Russell Wilson is number one in the league.
So
I think you take Russell Wilson, you can put him on any team in the league, and he will automatically turn that team around, and they'll be successful.
And I'm not going to sleep on. Listen, I slept on Russell Wilson early in his career. I thought he was all hype. I thought his defense won championships for him. But watching him play now, he is a phenomenal quarterback. And I do think he's a top 3 quarterback in the league. But Patrick Mahomes can just make every throw from every angle and get out there. I just have a hard time putting Russell Wilson ahead of him. I'm not saying any knock on Russell Wilson. Like I said, top 3, but Mahomes is the number 1 guy.
So I have a problem putting Patrick Mahomes above Russell Wilson because Patrick Mahomes has only been in the league for like 2 days. You know what I mean?
He's already got a ring.
Russell Wilson had a ring too, being in the league for 2 days.
So they both have one.
Huh?
They both have one.
Yeah, and Russell Wilson has been doing it longer.
That's what I'm saying. So Russell Wilson's like 1 for 10, and Patrick Mahomes is 1 for 2.
I guess. We'll see. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to – I don't think they get another one for a little bit.
Well, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to throw an interception to Malcolm Butler on the 2-yard line.
You know, that was all Pete Carroll. They should have turned around and handed the ball off to beast mode, and that would have gave him 2.
But I do agree with Wayne. Patrick Mahomes would have made that throw. So Wayne, we have a couple minutes before we gotta let you go here. The interview took a little longer, or has expanded past what we originally planned here. So let me ask you this question here. We kind of talked about it pre-show a little bit. Who do you think is going to have a better career here? Would you rather have Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones? Who will have that better career?
Yeah, so I was saying that, it's tough because Darnold missed so much time with the mono last year. We didn't really get to see the full season. He does throw a lot of interceptions, and that's the knock on him. Daniel Jones, I think, is a smarter quarterback right now. But I think that when you talk about tools and talent and ability, I do think that Sam Darnold is the more talented of the quarterbacks. And so if I was going to pick from here on out who's going to finish with a better career, I think it's Sam Darnold. I
agree 100%. I think Sam Darnold is going to have a much better career. I think he has some growing up to do, and like he missed that time last season with mono, and that kind of held him back. I look for a Sam Darnold to have almost a MVP caliber season this season. He
also has that team around him. They picked up Joe Flacco in the off season. They have Frank Gore on that team now. They have Le'Veon Bell. He has a lot of veteran leadership on that side of the ball, and you are going to see him take leaps and bounds this season. However, he can take all the leaps and bounds he wants. He is going to hit his ceiling before Daniel Jones does. I think Daniel Jones has a Eli Manning type of career. He might throw for 500 touchdowns, but also throw for 500 interceptions as well. But Mike, you have told me you measure career, who has a better career of Super Bowl rings. And I think Daniel Jones is going to have more Super Bowl rings than Sam Darnold at the end of the day.
I don't think so. I think Daniel Jones is a bust. He had a decent season last season, and
with no offensive line.
But and here's why. Who did the Giants just pick up for their offensive coordinator?
Jason Garrett.
Exactly.
He's a good offensive coordinator.
He can clap as good as anybody on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. He can clap. He's not great. He's predictable. Everything. Let's not just put it on the offensive coordinator for Dallas. At the end of the day, the head coach makes the game plan and goes over all that shit, right? So I think Jason Garrett is going to make Daniel Jones kind of regress in his progress.
I think the reality is that Daniel Jones was a reach at number 5. I don't know who fooled the Giants into taking him there, but I thought he was going to go in the late 20s in that draft, and the Giants for some reason got scared and took him at 5. I thought he had exceeded expectations last year with what he did. I was not expecting him to do that. So when you talk about who's going to hit their ceiling first, I honestly thought he hit his ceiling at Duke. So it surprised me how well he did last year. I think Darnold's ceiling is the sky. I think that he may not win a Super Bowl with the Jets, but if you're talking about who's going to win more Super Bowls, I think probably both those guys are going to end up on different teams by the end of their career. Jones is going to be a backup, and Darnold's going to be a Super Bowl champion.
Yep. Wouldn't that be something if they both ended up on the same team and Daniel Jones started over Sam Darnold?
If they're on the same team, that's not going to happen.
So, guys, Wayne, we gotta let you go as me and Mike gotta break down the Denver Broncos here on the second half of the show. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on being the show of the month on rtfsportsnetwork.com. Before we let you go, let people know where they can find you, read your blogs, etc.
Definitely. Visit rtfsportsnetwork.com. Check out the blog section. I try to do 2 or 3 blogs a week. So there's lots of stuff on there from personal interest stories like Brian Taylor and Farragut Academy. And then there's some fun pieces like movie drafts. So there's lots of stuff there. You can hear our show there Wednesdays at 9 right now. If that changes, obviously that'll be posted on the website. And you can find us on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, pretty much everywhere. So definitely give it a listen to the show. Let us know what you think. I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Wayne, anytime. All right, guys. So we are going to take a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back right after some music from the Joker.
Wondering what kind of style I'ma come with. Who am I? Well, I figured it'd be as good a time as any for a intro. Talk shit, tell them, hey, I'm the J to the O. And if you don't know, just don't make any assumptions. I got a habit that I'm popping up and delivering thousands upon thousands of never when I take it down and sing, when I'm gonna have to bring a little something for my people in the dungeon. Motherfuckers try to chop to put the same words, repetitive abundance. And I'm gonna get them
all right, guys, that is Joker. If you guys have not heard of Joker, I mean, it takes a while to get into his music, but when you start jamming, you start bobbing your head like, hey, not too bad.
Garbage.
Garbage. So, Mike, it is that time of night where, hey, Wayne was a great guest. We had him on.
I had a lot of fun with Wayne.
Yeah, he is from Infinity Sports, like over there, and wealth of knowledge. He is from the Connecticut area, I do believe, up in that New England. So he's a Patriots fan. I feel sorry for those people up there, but you guys are not going to go 11-5.
The dynasty is over.
I wouldn't say over. Just it's going to digress, and Bill Belichick is going to get fired by the end of the season, right?
No.
So it is that time of night, Mike. We're going to break down the Denver Broncos here. We've been breaking down teams all season.
I could do that in like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and do it in the next 20 minutes or so. Week number 1, they're at home, take on the Tennessee Titans. Who do you got?
I got the Titans. Wait. Titans playing the Broncos at home.
Broncos are at home at Mile High Stadium.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with the Broncos in this one.
There you go.
And here's why. Derrick Henry is going to get winded early. Playing at Mile High Stadium, the air is thinner up there. And it really doesn't matter what team comes in there. Let's be honest. When you are playing at Mile High, it's a different kind of air. I don't know if you've ever been to Denver. Me and my wife went last year, and it took me a full day to get acclimated to like the air and breathing out there. So I can only imagine, how it is for these players that are out there running around like a chicken with their head cut off. So yeah, give me Denver in that game. The only chance that the Titans have is that it is the first game of the season. Drew Lock really hasn't had a time to connect with his receivers. People are saying he's going to have an MVP caliber type season. I'm not 100% sold on it. He's definitely going to take leaps and bounds and be better, but I'm taking the Denver Broncos in this week 1 matchup as well. Moving on to week 2, they are on the road taking on the Steelers. What do you got? Heinz Field. The Steelers fans are always rowdy and they make a lot of noise. It depends on if Big Ben is playing in this game or not. If Big Ben is playing in this game, I've got the Steelers. If not, then the Broncos have a shot, but I still think the Steelers come out on top.
The Broncos are going to be a team that have a shot in every game, to be honest. Like, it doesn't matter who they play, they are always going to have a shot. Unfortunately, Big Ben is going to be playing this year. This might be his final year, so he might hit some curves and bumps on the way. So, but I'm still going to take the Steelers in this game, moving them to 1-1 on the season. you have them at 1-1 as well. Moving on to week number 3, they're back at home taking on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
So this is one of those games that I have kind of circled on the schedule. I've got the Bucs rolling into town, actually beating them at home.
Yeah, this is a game I have circled like as well. I don't know if Tom Brady and those receivers are going to be on the same page yet. Just like what Wayne said earlier, Tom Brady does have a noodle arm, but unfortunately the air is thinner up there. He can throw the ball 10 to 15 yards longer. So give me the Bucs. I think the Bucs go into Mile High and they beat them 21-17. Moving on to week number 4, they travel to New York to take on the Jets. Who do you got?
Ooh, I've got the Jets in this game. I think Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore is going to be too much for that defense. The Broncos front 7 is not great. I know they have what's his name?
Von Miller.
Yeah, I know they have Von Miller. But over the past couple seasons, I've noticed Von Miller has kind of declined, especially after that Super Bowl against Carolina.
Right.
Von Miller's kind of taken the decline. He hasn't been the unstoppable force that he was during that Super Bowl run. So even though with Von Miller and company, I think the run game for the Jets is too much.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be the Jets' downfall this season, is that they're going to rely on that running game so much with Frank Gore and Le'Veon Bell, and they have a bunch of no-name receivers on that roster. Yes, the Broncos have Von Miller that you said is declining. I do kind of agree with that a little bit, but they also picked up a guy named Shane Ray from Missouri. He is just like Von Miller, just young and athletic and full of energy. I'm taking the Broncos in this game, giving them a 2-2 start on the season. People in the chat here have them going 3-1 to start the season. So kind of surprised here. Moving on to the next game here, they're back on the road taking on the New England Patriots. Week number 5.
I got the Broncos in this one. I don't think Stedham is going to be. I don't think Stedham's going to be who everybody thinks he's going to be. I really don't. Wayne alluded to, he's going to be their savior for Tom Brady. I don't think so. Not this season.
I don't think anybody is going to ever live up to Tom Brady expectations. Like, you can have Trevor Lawrence, anybody. Like, I don't think anybody is going to be able to fill those shoes, because you're like, oh, Tom Brady won 6 rings. Tom Brady did this. So he is going to be consistently living in the shadow. But I do think they step up and win this game, meaning the Patriots will win this game. The Broncos, I don't think, are going to go into New England and MetLife Stadium and win this game, unfortunately. So you have them going 2-3 going into week number 6 when they take on the Miami Dolphins at home. Tua, your boy.
I think the Dolphins win this game. I think Tua shows out in this game. I think Tua throws for 275, 300, 3 or 4 touchdowns. Yeah, give me the Dolphins in this game.
I would agree with you if Tua was going to be a starter, but he is not going to be a starter in this game whatsoever. It's still going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick, and the Broncos win this game. They are, like you said, they have that home field advantage. You're going from sea level to a mile high. That is a big change, especially for if Tua is playing a rookie quarterback. So, give me the Broncos in this one. Moving on to week number 7, they're at home, but they're taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas
City Chiefs.
Get the hell out of here with that horse shit. So when we broke down the Kansas City Chiefs schedule, I have the Broncos winning this game, and we talked about it. Playing at home in Mile High. I think this is a game where Patrick Mahomes throws 2 or 3 picks. And I know this is a game that Patrick Mahomes wants revenge on, because this is a game that he got hurt last season.
Right.
So, but I don't see them getting that revenge. I see this being a super close game, like 14-12, 14-13.
You're going with the Broncos?
Yeah, I'm going with the Broncos.
That's a dub. So I am going with the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. The Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs, and they're going to lay it on them. I'm talking 49-7.
What?
It is a complete shellacking. Patrick Mahomes gets his revenge. He throws 5 touchdowns in the first half.
He needs to stop smoking crack, Mike.
I'm drinking water.
5 touchdowns in the first half.
In the first half, yep.
Let's put 50 on it.
Okay, whatever.
All right.
I mean,
this is recorded now.
Okay, I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs are a second quarter team. They may score one time in the first quarter, but the second quarter they're scoring 5 to 6 times in that second quarter.
No. You said they were going to throw 5 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah. Which let's do some math here. There are 4 quarters in the first quarter, second quarter. That's first half, right? And then 3 and 4 the second half, right?
Yeah, they're not going to. He's not going to throw 5 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, but they are, and the Chiefs win this game. Going into the bye week for week number 8, they come into back on week 9 on the road, taking on the Atlanta Falcons.
Give me the Broncos. I've
500
said it before, and I'll say it again. The Falcons are in rebuild mode. They've just got Matty Ice and Julio Jones. Their defense all around is suspect. Look for this defense to finish in the bottom half, the 25-32.
You know, I agree with you. I think the Atlanta Falcons are kind of in that, I don't know what we're doing type of mode. Are we rebuilding? Are we going to try to win games? But they're still at home. I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons to win this game because the Broncos are just they're going to come off that bye week. They have a non-division game. They have a division game following. Give me the Falcons simply because it's just a gut feeling. And looking at the chat here, Jameson has them going 7-1.
I think you're giving the Falcons that pity win.
Wow. I mean, it is. But week number 10, they're on the road again, going to Vegas to take on the Raiders.
Give me the Broncos. I think the Raiders just don't know what the hell they're going to do this season. Don't be surprised. I still go back to what you said last night. I like the Derek Carr trade to the Patriots.
Right.
Derek Carr fits that system so perfectly. If Derek Carr goes to the Patriots, he will win as many Super Bowls as Tom Brady did.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. And this is recorded. So that we'll definitely have to play that back in about 15 years if that does happen. Now, I have been on record saying that the Raiders are going to be really, really good or really, really, really bad. 3-13, 3-13. That frame. I broke them down and I actually had them going 5-11. One of those 5 wins is against the Denver Broncos at home on Sunday Night Football. Unfortunately, if that Derek Carr trade does happen, it is going to be before that because their bye week is like week 5 or week 6, if I'm not mistaken. And so Marcus Mariota will start. He'll be coming into his own like at this point in time, hitting on Sounders. The Raiders win this game. Moving on to week 11, the Broncos are back at home taking on the Chargers.
I got the Broncos in this game. Chargers, they don't know what the hell they're doing either.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do have the Broncos as well in this game. Even though the Chargers are coming off a bye week, it doesn't matter. When you travel to Mile High, a division game, you can have 4 weeks off. It's still they know what they're going to do. You know what they're going to do at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And who is the quarterback going to be for the Chargers? Do we even know? I mean, they had Tyrod Taylor. They drafted Jacob Easton, or not Jacob Eakin. Who was the quarterback that they drafted?
I don't remember.
The dude from freaking Oregon, but whoever he is. But yeah, I mean, the Broncos win. Moving on to week number 12, back at home, taking on the New Orleans Saints.
Justin Herbert is who they drafted.
Who?
Sorry, Saints. The San Diego Chargers drafted Justin Herbert.
So you have the Saints beating the Broncos?
Yep.
Take the L. Yeah, unfortunately, Drew Brees, I don't care if he is not backing his teammates or not. They're not going to lose to the Denver Broncos. They could be playing in Mars. They're not going to lose to the Denver Broncos. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Moving into week number 13, they're on the road traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you got?
I've got the Chiefs in this game. At home, yeah, give me the Chiefs.
And you had them going 6-6 going into that game, or after they lose that game. I had them losing to the Kansas City Chiefs as like as well. They're not going to go into Arrowhead, especially if they couldn't win at home. They're not going to win at Arrowhead. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to be hitting on all cylinders at this point in time. Patrick Mahomes might throw another 5 touchdowns in the first half again. You never know. Hell, the defense might score 3 touchdowns against them. Either way, the Chiefs win big, 55-12. Hear that? 55-12.
Not gonna be look. Listen, Mike. The Chiefs are not going to be just spanking teams like college teams spank other teams.
They aren't going to beat every team. They're just going to spank everybody in their division like college teams.
No.
Moving on to week number 14, they travel to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Who do you got?
I've got the Broncos in this game. They shut Christian McCaffrey down.
Okay. I could see that, but I could also see that's not going to happen. The Panthers win this game coming off of a bye week here. They're going to be fresh. Their Teddy Bridgewater is going to be clicking a little bit, moving those Panthers into that 7-9 season, and this is one of their wins. Moving on to week number 14, the Buffalo Bills travel to Mile High.
I got the Bills in this game. The Bills are just going to be too much. Too much. Way too much firepower with the Bills.
Yeah, except for they're going to Mile High Stadium. The Bills have a tough little stretch. They play the Chiefs, they play the 49ers, and then they come and play the Broncos. The Broncos win this game. The Broncos are raising some eyebrows at this point. They're like, hey, not too bad. Maybe making a late playoff push. They're definitely not going to be 10-3 by any means, Jameson. I don't know where you're smoking. That guy needs to put down the crack pipe. But moving on to week number 16, they're on the road taking on the Chargers. Who do you got?
I got the Broncos again in this game.
There you go.
I think I think the Chargers and Jacksonville. It's going to come down to the Chargers and Jacksonville into the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes.
And I don't think the Chargers will be in that Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes because I think they pick up Cam Newton. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they pick up Cam Newton at some point in this season. He plays the last 5-6 weeks of the season, starts to get acclimated a little bit, given the Chargers' hope for the 2021 season. But the Chargers don't beat the Broncos. The Broncos are they are clicking. Everything's coming in stride. Drew Lock is looking like a solid MVP caliber quarterback over there, and they win 21-10. Moving us to the Week 17 matchup at home versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
I've got the Broncos winning that game too.
Wow. 9-7.
Yeah. I've got the Broncos winning that game. I don't see the Raiders winning more than 3 or 4 games, 5 at best.
Right. That's exactly what I had the Raiders at 5 wins this season. And one of them does not come against the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos sweep, or they don't sweep them, they split with them in this Week 17 matchup, and the Broncos beat them, giving them a 7-9 record on the season per me, and you had them going 9-7. So the exact opposite of what I have here. So, have you done the playoff predictor over there yet?
I have not. Let's touch on that tomorrow.
So, just thinking out loud here, a 9-7 record probably gets them in a wild card bid here since the playoffs is a 7-team series or 7-team playoff.
They going to a 17? Or are they doing that this year?
I believe so.
I thought that was next season.
I'm almost 90% positive it was this season, and then they're raising the salary cap, or they were. It was a 17-game season the next year.
Yeah, I think it's next year. If they were doing it this year at 9-7, yeah, they definitely sneak into the playoffs. I'm actually really excited for the expanded playoff. I'm really excited about that.
And I'm kind of indifferent about it. Obviously the bye week is huge basically the NFL wants people to be playing, throughout the whole season. They don't want players sitting like Lamar Jackson did like week 16, 17 season last year. Here in the comments, Jameson said they are expanding to a 7-team playoff this season, which I thought was correct. And with your 9-7, they're definitely in a wild card spot there. So
yeah, I mean they definitely could.
Do they make some noise in the playoffs? Can they get a first round win?
No, I think they're one and done.
Much like the Baltimore Ravens, huh?
Yeah, No, shut up.
They so like I said, I had them 7-9, and I believe that is good enough for second in that division. Yeah, so second in the division behind the Kansas City Chiefs.
So 14 teams beginning with the 2020 season following the players' approval. So the 14 teams will be in the playoffs this season.
Looking at the game schedules here, besides that Tampa Bay one that you have scheduled, are there any ones that you else have circled? Like, hey, this could be a really good team or a below 500 team. Like what game kind of gives them that over under?
I don't.
I'm going to say the Raiders. If they can sweep the Raiders this season, they could obviously that would put them at 8-8. But I think beating the Raiders on week 10, that gives them the momentum moving forward because like then they play the Chargers and then they play the Chiefs and the Panthers and the Bills. They get that momentum.
I have the Raiders, so
right.
It's gonna be that Saints game or that Bills game. I've got those two circled. If they can beat one of those two teams, because I think they'll be second in the division for sure. Yeah. But the Saints or the Bills, if they can beat one of those teams, and it puts them to 10-6. That's definitely in that division in the AFC. I think that's definitely good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going to mimic what you said. They're like, I already have them beating the Bills. But if they play the Saints close, if it is a competitive game, I don't care what the score says. If it is a competitive game, Drew Lock, is pushing the ball down the field, making a connection with the receivers. The defense looks solid. They can kind of hold Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara kind of somewhat in check. That Week 12 matchup, if they compete with the Saints and not get totally blown out, I might raise my eye a little bit. Like, hey, maybe the Broncos aren't as bad as people say they're going to be. Which honestly, I have them as a sleeper because last year they did go at 5-11. So I think going 5 wins.
I think going into the draft next year, if they can draft a few more weapons around Locke and really focus on the defense in the draft next season, the Broncos in 2021 are definitely going to be a team that the Chiefs will have to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest downfall for the Denver Broncos right now is they are running into a juggernaut called the Kansas City Chiefs. They are going to be dominant for the next 3 or 4 years for sure, if barring no big injuries or firings or whatnot. But so, they definitely have to. If you are the Denver Broncos moving forward, do you try to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs offense, or do you try to draft on the defensive side to slow that offense down? Like, what would you do if you were a Broncos GM?
I would definitely draft on the side of defense to slow that Kansas City offense down for sure, because Kansas City, they have a decent defense. It's not phenomenal by any means. So if I'm thinking about competing in this division and overtaking the division, I'm thinking defense to slow down Patrick Mahomes.
See, and I'm on the exact opposite side. I think you attack poison with poison. So you have to draft some offensive players. You get a, basically mimic the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Drew Lock is a Patrick Mahomes, kind of clone. Maybe not like they are a poor man Patrick Mahomes. They draft a receiver like Travis Kelce or like Tyreek Hill. Get a short, fasty little shifty guy on the outside and fight poison with poison or fire with fire, or whatever words you want to use. Because at the end of the day, They say defense wins championship, but that is the old NFL. The new NFL is they want you to score points. They want you to score 50, 60 points every game. And the rules are going to be consistently changing to make the defense not effective. So you have to draft offense, 100%.
We'll see.
We will see. But that is going to be it for tonight's show, guys. Mike, any closing thoughts before we head out?
No, man. I have no closing thoughts other than you need to put the damn crack pipe down and thinking that the Chiefs are just going to be the next dynasty.
They are the next dynasty. It's there's no breaking down to it. But let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. I almost forgot about that.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And for my 2-minute warning tonight, I got to address the whole NBA, NHL, NASCAR thing. Yes, we know tragedies are happening in the world. There has been racial injustice, I should say, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We heard that the NASCAR, they all shut their engine off. They wore the I Can't Breathe T-shirts. They took a knee, et cetera. I'm going to expect to see much of the same from the NBA. I've seen a bunch of tweets saying that they should not fund the police department anymore and whatnot. Guys, that is total blasphemy. Stop talking about that. That is stupid. Think about this. If there is no people policing you, who is going to stop you from robbing the convenience store? Who is going to stop you from doing this, this, and this? It is going to be pure honesty, and right now our world is not pure honest. Let's be totally honest about that. So NBA, I hope you guys take a stand, and because the NBA is a majority of black athletes in there, with like 80% black in the NBA and like whatnot. So NBA, step up and speak to the people. Tell them that the rioting and looting and the defunding of the police department is just not right. That's what it comes down to. It is not right. Let's move past this. Let's grow as a community, grow as a nation, grow as a United States of America. We were born into a free world, so let's keep being free at the end of the day. That's all I got to say. Non-sports related, but we out.